Good morning, everybody. Myself Sachin Sharma, your physics teacher. Today, the topic is Gauss theorem, which is the video electrostatics 12. Okay, this Gauss theorem is extremely important for your all type of examinations, unit test, half yearly, and as well as CBSE board examinations. Basically, what is the Gauss theorem? It is a mathematical tool to calculate the electric field intensity for the known charge distribution and vice versa. It means if you know the value of charges in space, you can calculate the electric field intensity due to these charge distributions, as you can calculate with the help of Coulomb's law. Okay, and if you know the value of electric field intensity in space at some region, you can also calculate the source charge distribution of this electric field with the help of this Gauss theorem. So focus, what is the statement of Gauss theorem? According to this theorem, total electric flux linked with a closed Gaussian surface integration over closed surface E dot ds is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed in that closed Gaussian surface. Mathematically, integration over closed Gaussian surface E dot ds is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught into total charge enclosed in the Gaussian surface. This is the mathematical expression for Gaussian surface in air, free space or vacuum. If we introduce a medium of relative permittivity or dielectric constant epsilon r, then Gauss theorem becomes integration over closed surface E dot ds is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught epsilon r q total. Now epsilon naught epsilon r is epsilon. Okay, here epsilon is the absolute permittivity of the medium. Epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity of air, free space or vacuum, and epsilon r is the relative permittivity of the medium or dielectric constant of the medium. So you can see integration over closed surface E dot ds is equal to 1 upon epsilon q total. This is the mathematical expression for Gauss theorem in a medium except air, free space or vacuum. You can see the mathematical expression. What you see, integral over a closed surface E dot ds. This is also known as surface integral of electric field over the closed Gaussian surface. Okay, so we can summarize this Gauss theorem in other words, which is surface integral of electric field intensity over closed Gaussian surface is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed in that Gaussian surface. Okay, now we will study the properties of Gaussian surface. What is the property of Gaussian surface, what is the shape and dimension of the Gaussian surface, because to apply the Gauss theorem you must know all about Gaussian surfaces. Okay, right now I will not discuss about the derivation of this Gauss theorem because derivation is not the part of your syllabus. Okay, applications of Gauss theorem is the part of your Gauss theorem, which I will discuss in the next video. Okay, especially after your unit test. Okay, I will discuss the applications, but derivations of the applications I will discuss after your unit test. Okay guys, now some applications of Gauss theorem, sorry, noticeable points regarding Gaussian surface. First, it must enclose the charge distribution due to which electric field is to be calculated. It means you must enclose the source charge due to which you wish to calculate the electric field intensity. It must be closed by a Gaussian surface. It means if you know the value of electric field due to some source charge distribution using Gauss theorem, in that case, first of all, you will try to enclose that charge with a Gaussian surface. So Gaussian surface must be closed. This is the first property. Second property is the value of electric field E must be same at every point of closed Gaussian surface so that E can be treated as a constant and can take out from the sign of integral. This is extremely important property. Gaussian surface must be closed and the value of electric field intensity must be same throughout the Gaussian surface. It means at every point of the Gaussian surface. Third point, it must be imaginary and follow inverse square law. Fourth point, shape and dimensions of Gaussian surface. Shape of Gaussian surface entirely depends on the nature of the charge distribution. Whether your charge distribution is point-like, linear charge distribution or surface charge distribution, etc, etc. Okay, so for point-like charges it must be concentric spheres. It means for point-like charges it must be spherical in shape. For linear charge distribution, it means due to a charged wire it must be cylindrical in shape. For plane sheet of charge means if the distribution of charge at the surface of the sheet throughout the sheet, because sheet is a two-dimensional figure, okay, and wire is a one-dimensional figure. Charged wire means charge is distributed along the length of the wire. Charged plane sheet means charge is distributed over the whole area of the sheet. Okay, so for plane sheet of charge it must be pillbox type Gaussian surface. What is the pillbox type Gaussian surface? I will discuss later on in details. Okay, now what must be the dimensions of Gaussian surface? Yeah, what is the size of Gaussian surface? So size of the Gaussian surface is decided by the fact that Gaussian surface must pass through the point of observation P. Point of observation P means point of observation means there point of observation means point at which you wish to calculate the effect, whether you calculate the electric field, electric potential, electric force, etc. Whatever you wish to calculate, that point is known as point of observation. Okay guys, so the size of Gaussian surface, yeah, dimensions of the Gaussian surface is decided by the fact that it must pass through the point of observation. Okay, so for a point like charge, Gaussian surface must be spherical. It means source charge must be at the center of the closed Gaussian surface and that Gaussian surface must pass through the point of observation P. So the dimensions of the Gaussian surface is the radius of the separation between Q and P. You can see in the figure, you see P at which E is calculated. Okay, so taking the source point charge Q as a center of the sphere, you make a closed spherical Gaussian surface of radius r. Here, here is Gaussian surface is spherical because of the point-like charge. Now, the dimensions of the Gaussian surface means what is the radius of the Gaussian surface? Radius of the Gaussian surface must be the separation between point-like charge and point of observation. Okay. Next, similarly, for line charge, it must be cylindrical and pass through the point of observation P, having line of charge at the axis of the closed cylindrical Gaussian surface. You can see in the diagram there is a charged wire of length L, and you wish to calculate the electric field at a point P, which is at a separation small r. Now Gaussian surface in that case would be cylindrical and must pass through the point of observation P. So here your Gaussian surface is closed Gaussian surface of radius r and height L, which is the length of the charged wire. Now some very important discussions. You see, everywhere small r is the separation between charge and the point of observation. Okay, so for point like charges, electric field is always inversely proportional to the square of the separation, but for linear charge or linear charged conductor or charged wire, all are same. In that case, electric field is inversely proportional to the separation r. Here E is proportional to 1 upon r. For point like charges, E is proportional to 1 upon r square. For linear charge, linear charge conductor, E is proportional to 1 upon r. Where for plane sheet of charge, E is proportional to r की power 0. It means E is independent of r. All these important points are the parts of the applications of Gauss theorem, which I will derive after your unit test examinations. Okay guys, so best of luck for your unit test examinations. Thank you and have a nice day.